So a good example is this one here. And before I sort of jump into this too far, what I want to do is actually show you the reference viewer in this model. This particular model has lots of different copy geometry features, published geometry features that are used within it. And so these refer to external models. Right now, I don't have access to that external model which was used to create this. But if I was to look at the reference viewer, let's say I look at it for this particular option model. If I go reference viewer, you can see it's actually telling me that the missing model is it's not available in session. Okay, and if I don't have a copy of that model, then this is all it's ever going to show. Okay, I can from here try and retrieve it or whatever. If I go display full path, it's going to say the reason that we need that. Okay, which is complex. Now, sometimes if it's a reference it's not required, you can actually from here, you can just say delete it. Like it could be a replaced item or something like that, that you don't really need the old reference to. But in this case, these are like actually references that I might need. So if I was looking to do an update, I would need to make sure, like if I'm in the context of Windchill, that I would have these models in my workspace. In the context of a Windows file system, I'd need to make sure that I knew where those models were, and perhaps I had search paths and things like that. Okay, but you can see there. So I mean, these features here will all have sort of the same sort of functionality with respect to that. Obviously, there'll be different downstream features for these ones. Okay, as I go through them. Okay. So what you also probably noticed if you look closely here, I can say from this right click here, retrieve reference model. So that would be saying to me, open up that file. Okay, I don't have it right now, but if I'm in a production environment, I'll know where that is. If I went open, then that reference viewer dialog box would then populate with particular references and so forth. Okay. All right. So if we just move on then to the two different things we're going to be looking at. So if we look at the moment, we've got the design tree already in the model tree. All right. And we can see which particular, for which particular quilts, the features that we used. Okay. And so that's fine. If we were to activate the design tree, this, I always get confused, design tree, what you'll notice is that it comes out of the model tree. So that's not in the model tree anymore. And then we have a separate tree. I mean, and that tree can be, you can pull it out, you can move it to a different location, if you like. Okay, so it can be all moved around according to your preferences. But you can see now we've got those separate items listed there. With respect to this, we can, control, as you saw before, all the corresponding features were listed underneath it. But when we split it out to just as simply the design tree, we get like a more of a summary of a breakdown. Okay. All right. Let me just make this a little bit wider so we can see the next icon we need. So the next icon we need is the quilt or body evolution tree. So if I go to that one, over here, you can see I'm getting that the same sort of information that I had before, but with a little bit more information in it, basically. Okay, and so if I click on this option here to auto show snapshot, you can see that first feature that I'm bringing in, it's shown in red. I'll just make that a bit smaller so we've got more room to have a look at the graphical side of things. Okay, so you can see that, and so with that option turned on, I now can say, okay, the trim, it did that, and then the merge feature then created that quilt like that. At that point in time, that's what was there. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, and you can see as it's progressed to the actual surface that I want. So you can see, like in some cases, they've created additional surfaces that they've then trimmed back, and so on. Right. So if this is a model you're getting from somebody else, you've pretty much just got a really quick breakdown of how that's been created. Traditional approaches to the same thing might have been something like doing something like this, right? Whereby you might start with the original geometry and you might, do things like use the model player to like roll things back and forward. Hang on, let me just cancel this. All right, and then I'll use the model player. Okay, so we'll drag it back. Okay, and we could certainly sort of do this sort of stuff in the past, but if you look at that, it's not so nice. It's a little bit harder to understand what's going on with that model, okay? Because we're not actually highlighting any of the major surfaces in red as we're sort of stepping through it. All right, so yeah, it gives us that extra capability to look at those surfaces as we're sort of working on them. So you can see what the different quilts in the model are. All right. So yeah, those are access, and that you can, as I said, you can turn them on and off as you need to. If you look at effectively the model tree here, you have this one here, which is the quilt evolution tree, and then you have this one here, which is the design tree. Okay.